Goku and Broly, the one-shot of the boys being inspired by a hero called Clean God. The evidence of a new superhero movie is right in front of our eyes, and what happened recently is proof of that. Frieza, with his new black form, defeating Goku and Vegeta, Gohan gaining his new beast form in the first movie, and both not having reached their limits. So this new movie, besides introducing Frieza's new plan, will explore both their powers and Gohan's ability to protect Earth, having received this responsibility directly from Goku. I'll explain all of this to you, so stay with me, but not before asking for your support. I count on your subscription, your like, and make sure to turn on notifications. Dragon Ball Super. Superhero was a movie that brought focus to characters like Gohan and Piccolo, who had long been sidelined from the main battles. The story revolves around the resurgence of the Red Ribbon Army, which creates two new androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and eventually awakens Cellmax, a colossal threat. Gohan is once again pushed onto the battlefield, activating his incredible beast transformation at a crucial moment. Piccolo also gains a powerful new form, known as Orange Form, after receiving an enhancement from Shinron. The movie blends humor, intense action, and emotional moments, highlighting Gohan as one of the most powerful warriors in the Dragon Ball universe. And everything recently connects to the theme of heroes, from the Great Saiyan, created by Gohan to preserve his identity and act freely without exposing himself, to Goten and Trunks now following the same path. This movie could very well focus on them, their evolution, and also Frieza's recent plans and testing limits. That alone would already be an incredible story, but who knows? Maybe there's some foreshadowing in all of this, and I'll tell you what it could be. Well, we know that recently the focus has been on Goten and Trunks, and that could bring something interesting. Gohan, who has always been accustomed to being a hero, could do something different this time to emphasize the boys, something connected to the new superhero they admire, Clean God. Goten's admiration for this fictional character is reflected in the narrative of the one-shot, but there are no indications that Goten and Trunks directly connect this fictional figure to Gohan. They seem to see Clean God more as an inspiration for their heroic style, while still holding memories and admiration for Gohan's role as the Great Saiyan. This parallel creates an interesting relationship between generations of masked heroes, mixing reverence and comedy, something typical of Dragon Ball's lighthearted style. And so, Gohan could use this to his advantage, forcing the boys to be heroes against him. But how? He could, for the first time, take on the role of an anti-hero, not to say villain, and could face the boys, pretending to cause chaos in the city. This would be a comedic way to start the movie and follow this superhero premise until, near the end, the real villain would appear, Frieza. And with the boys also discovering the truth about Clean God, who is actually Gohan, it would be a key moment in their growth as they face Frieza in the current situation. But before talking about that directly, we can also imagine something else, like Gohan, after his fight with Goku and Broly, finding a new purpose to explore his full potential, something he had set aside for years. After the battle, it was evident that Gohan had reached a level beyond what anyone could have imagined. Determined never to be caught off guard again, and to protect his family and the planet from any threat, he started intensive training with Piccolo on Earth. Piccolo, as always, acted as both a mentor and a combat partner to further refine the beast form, Gohan's new transformation. During this time, their bond only grew stronger, and Gohan showed unprecedented dedication, balancing his life as a father, scholar, and now, an unstoppable force. And this is evident in Gohan's struggle to control his power. In the latest chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga, Gohan explains to Goku that he only broke through his Ultra Instinct during that fight because he controlled his limiter. Gohan has always had this power limiter. Either he would fall asleep after using his power or lose control. So, he pushed himself to his current limit before losing control, to break through the speed of Ultra Instinct. And he is definitely working hard on this. A new movie where he fights Frieza would be the perfect moment for him to truly test himself, especially since Goku ended his fight to let Broly fight for a bit. Parallel to this, before this fight, another character whose power limits we do not yet know is Frieza. Goku and Vegeta faced a crushing shock when they saw Frieza's new black form. Frieza made a devastating entrance, displaying a power level that surpassed even the gods. With a single blow, he defeated both Goku and Vegeta, making it clear that his strength was the result of intense training. During the confrontation, Black Frieza declared that he had put aside his grudge against the Saiyans, claiming he no longer sought revenge. However, this statement was nothing more than a calculated manipulation. Black Frieza had far more sinister plans in mind and left Goku and Vegeta alive on purpose. He wanted them to become even stronger, only so he could test them when they reached their peak, proving the supremacy of his own power. And without a doubt, both, humiliated by their defeat and recognizing the seriousness of Black Frieza's threat, will train even harder. In this meantime, In this new movie following these events, and also inspired by Frieza's own training method inside the hyperbolic time chamber, the extreme environment pushed them to challenge their limits in a way unlike anything they had done before. Goku focused on mastering the subtler layers of Ultra Instinct, attempting to reach a state where he could use this ability without losing energy or focus in prolonged combat. Vegeta, on the other hand, fully embraced Ultra Ego, deepening his connection with the destructive power of the Hakurashin and seeking a way to balance his aggression with a calculated strategy. But that wouldn't be the main focus of the movie. It could instead be setting the stage for the next saga. The development of this movie wouldn't necessarily end with Gohan, Trunks, Goten, and Piccolo achieving victory, but rather serve as a form of training for them, preparing them for something even bigger to come directly in the manga, as has often been the case before. But meanwhile, Black Frieza, in his thirst to test his new powers, may return to Earth in this new movie, this time driven by intelligence. Even without direct intentions to destroy the planet, he aims to provoke the greatest possible rage in Goku and Vegeta, making them even more formidable adversaries. He knew he needed this to get their attention, as he had already given them more than enough time to evolve. He began his attack without any remorse, devastating cities and terrorizing the population. During this chaos, he encountered unexpected resistance. Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks joined forces to protect Earth. Goten and Trunks, inspired by the idea of being heroes after their adventures as Saiyan X1 and X2, decided to face Frieza with a bold plan. They used the knowledge they had acquired by observing Goku and Vegeta on Beerus' planet to replicate their advanced techniques in a surprisingly effective way, but with the characteristic humor that defines them. The movie itself would naturally have the comedic element that can't be left out. Goten and Trunks, fused as Gotenks, first failing as always but then getting it right, attempt to emulate Goku's Ultra Instinct, dodging Frieza's attacks with agile but overly theatrical movements. They also experimented with a comedic equivalent of Vegeta's Ultra Ego, inflating their egos and taunting Frieza with extravagant provocations. Despite their creativity, Gotenks' attacks were not enough to contain the villain. Black Frieza was clearly irritated but at the same time fascinated by the tenacity of the young Saiyans. Piccolo entered the battle in his new, orange form, trying to hold off Frieza and buy time while Gohan prepared for his entrance. Piccolo knew that despite all his efforts, Frieza was on a completely different level, but his determination to protect Earth was unshakable. Gotenks, for his part, continued to fight unpredictably, but even their fusion couldn't maintain an advantage for long. As Frieza increased his intensity, the situation seemed increasingly desperate. At that moment, Gohan finally entered the battle. In his beast form, he burst onto the battlefield with an aura radiating pure power. Frieza, who had underestimated Gohan, was caught off guard by the overwhelming strength the half-Saiyan now possessed. Gohan had reached a level that rivaled the greatest powers in the universe, and his transformation unleashed a surge of energy that shook the entire Earth. Frieza never expected that the boy he had beaten on Namek and again in the events of Resurrection, F, had mastered such power. The fight between Gohan and Frieza would be monumental, with both exchanging blows of immeasurable proportions. Gohan, now more focused and confident than ever, used everything he had learned during his training with Piccolo. He combined intelligent strategies with absolute control over his new power, forcing Frieza to fight at his full capacity. The battle was so intense that Black Frieza himself began to question whether he had underestimated the Saiyan's potential, especially Goku's son, whom he had never considered a real threat. It would be incredible to see their strength, and imagining a fight of this level breaking barriers even within the hyperbolic time chamber would be epic. Goku and Vegeta, training inside the chamber, would sense both of their energies clashing and would step out to witness the battle. This movie wouldn't just highlight Gohan's power in his new form, it would also reinforce the importance of Goten and Trunks, showing that they have a vital role in the future of the franchise. The unity of the Saiyans and their allies would be the heart of this story, a demonstration that strength doesn't come from brute power alone but from determination and teamwork. As Goku and Vegeta train for a future rematch with Frieza, Gohan proves that the new generation is more than ready to carry the legacy of the Z Fighters. And in the end, both Gohan and Frieza fight tremendously, but as they reach the limits of their powers, Frieza decides to retreat. As he escapes, he vows to return even stronger, promising that this isn't the end of their rivalry. He even thanks Gohan for giving him the opportunity to test his powers. During the fight, Frieza might have revealed his true plan, to test his abilities in preparation for being able to kill even a god of destruction. If this is the case, it could open the path to a new saga in the Dragon Ball Super manga, following the pattern of previous movies that led into the series. Perhaps all of this would end with Gohan and the others going to Beerus' planet to inform him of Frieza's plans and to prepare for what's to come. But Beerus would likely just laugh and say, "Let him try." But what if Frieza wasn't even talking about Beerus? Who knows? We would only find out if something like this actually happened. And speaking of which, after this movie and the battle between Gohan and Black Frieza, Goku and Vegeta would return to the hyperbolic time chamber, this time emerging even stronger. Goku and Vegeta's training inside the chamber would be a true display of their relentless commitment and determination. After the humiliation of being defeated by Black Frieza with a single blow and witnessing Gohan's power against Frieza, they would enter the time chamber with a single goal: to surpass their limits and prepare for a rematch that would restore their honor. However, their training styles and focus would be drastically different, reflecting their unique personalities and combat philosophies. Goku, always seeking tranquility and adaptability, would dedicate his training to the absolute refinement of Ultra Instinct. He would focus on achieving a state where he could use this transformation effortlessly, making it a natural extension of his existence. His training would be intense and methodical, involving simulated battles in his mind where he faced imaginary versions of Frieza at different power levels. His approach would be fluid and introspective, interspersing moments of meditation to align body and mind. He would strive to reach a stage where his reactions were completely automatic, not just in battle but also in extreme and unpredictable situations. Vegeta, on the other hand, would take the opposite path, focusing on Ultra Ego and the destructive energy taught by Beerus. His training would be marked by a more aggressive and intense tone. Vegeta would push himself to the extreme conditions of the time chamber, enduring energy storms and fighting against crushing gravity, all while exploring the limitless nature of his controlled rage. To Vegeta, Ultra Ego wasn't just a power, it was a reflection of his refusal to accept defeat. He would push his body to the brink of collapse and beyond, believing that his strength would emerge from this brutal intensity. By the end of their training, both would emerge completely transformed. Goku, now with a more refined mastery of Ultra Instinct, would be in perfect sync between body and mind, ready to face Frieza with an unshakable calm. Vegeta, on the other hand, would showcase unprecedented control over his Ultra Ego form, combining his destructive strength with strategy, something only he could develop. They wouldn't just be stronger warriors, they would be a combined force representing the pinnacle of Saiyan evolution. And this time, their rematch against Frieza would be inevitably epic, or perhaps something even more terrifying is still awaiting them. Who knows?